Hi, this is a quick screencast to show you how to access your gradebook and any feedback that may have been provided. And I'll also give you a quick rundown on these top sections within your Blackboard site. So you've got your content for your main content section. You've got your calendar, which has got your schedule where you'll see in here your different study days, and that will be for all the different ones that we're running. The due dates of all of your items, so you in date order, so you can see what things are upcoming. Your announcements, we will be using this to share important information with you, so please remember to look at these, and then once you've looked at them, to mark them as read so that we know that you have reviewed them all. Discussions, these are being used. This is really good. Keep your questions coming and also have a look to see what other questions have been given. Some really good questions on there. And you've got your gradebook. So your gradebook is where you can see all of your different elements, and you can also see where feedback has been given or not. So you've got your item name, the due date, the status, the mark, and then there's a feedback section here as well. But where I want you to concentrate your attention is this mark section, and then also have a look at your status as well. So if we look at the personal development plan, you can see I have submitted this element late. If you are submitting something late, please complete or you're going to have a problem submitting something on time, please submit an extension request so that we can ensure to give you feedback. So if we don't get that extension request, we will not provide you with feedback. If you don't provide you with feedback, we will not we won't be able to provide you with feedback, and that in turn can lead to fails. So the feedback is really key to help and support you through this prescribing journey. So you've got your personal development plan. So if you have a look at this, you can see the mark, it says review feedback, and then there's also a little box here which is showing that there has been some feedback, given that some written message. But if you click on this review feedback, whatever this section is here, it will bring up a bit more information. This will really help you understand what's going on. So you can see that this is marked with a rubric. A rubric is a almost like a marking performer. It helps to guide the feedback that we're providing to you. And then you want to go all the way down here to your marks. If you click on that, you'll then have to click again to get into it, because what you will see here is if you had multiple attempts, it will have all the different attempts. So you should look at the last attempt that you have done. So for me, it was only one attempt. So if I click here, it'll bring up a bit more information. So it'll look like where you submitted the work. So you've got the submission of where you submitted, and then on the side here is where you've got your feedback. So there were some comments here. So I've just popped here, review feedback and submit to summative, or you'll see something on the lines of review the feedback and resubmit for feedback for further, and that would be for further feedback. Have a look at your rubric. So you can see how this is depending on the number of objectives you use. We've gone up to 8 because we have had trainees that have submitted 8 objectives. But I only provided with 2 objectives, which obviously is not enough. We want a minimum of 3 or 4 objectives. So if we click on objective 1, you can see it's been marked as below expectations, and that's because I've got some objectives missing. If you look at objective 2, it meets expectations. No feedback given because it's fine. There's nothing that else needs to be added to it. But because I have a below expectations, and actually the feedback for me would be to review my feedback and resubmit for further feedback. I'll just click back. I can then, from this screen here, we'll just go back one other one. From this screen, I can actually resubmit from this point here. So if you want to action that feedback and submit it straight away, you can access and attempt your second attempt here, which is my second attempt. And then I would submit it. Again, I'm submitting it late. So if you are submitting late, you get this to tell you it's successful. So that's fine. So I've now submitted another attempt. We click on it, you can now see that there's an attempt to, and it's not been marked. So please give us time when you do submit that. We will get to your feedback as soon as we can. Then you've got your learning needs assessment. So if you click on your learning needs assessment, again, you can either click here or here. Excuse me. Again, you can see that it's marked with a rubric, and again, click here for your mark. Click on it again. You can see that this hasn't been given any bespoke feedback. If you click on the rubric, the feedback is all in here. So you've got your scope of practice, which was meets expectations, the clinical examinations, which was meets expectations, your monitoring and diagnostic parameters was meets expectations. My signature was below expectation because I needed to ensure that it is a signed copy, so it's not been signed. And then if I look at the overall, it's been left as blank, but that's to allow me to show you the two different ones. So you've got meets expectations. So LNA meets expectations. Please address any feedback and then submit your signed LNA to the summative submission point, or adjustment is required. For further adjustment required, please review learning assessment, address feedback, and resubmit a copy for further feedback from the course team. So if you've got adjustment required, we want you to review this feedback, make some changes, resubmit for more feedback. If it is what we're expecting but some minor tweaks, add those minor tweaks and submit to summative. If you don't agree with this feedback, and we've asked you to add in a new score, for example, but you and your DPP do not want to do that, you need to agree that with the course team. So you'll need to give justification of why that element is not required within your learning needs assessment. So please do liaise with us. So again, clicking out through the X buttons. So just a little bit more on this very quickly. You can see here that the case-based discussion I have submitted, it's not been marked, it's awaiting marking. And then if we have a look at your summative items, so some of you, or most of you, have submitted your plagiarism statement, and these have been mostly content checked. So if you click on that one, for example, you can see it says complete, which means the course team has reviewed it, made sure that you've signed it and you've submitted it correctly, and we can read it, we can see it. The quality of the submission is good. So we've marked that as complete. So that's one element complete, don't have to do anything more. Whilst the signed education agreement, you can see it's been marked, but you can see it says incomplete review. So if you click on that, we can have a look to see what's going on. So we don't use a rubric to mark your education agreement, so it's just the comments box. So if you click on that, okay, when you want attempt, you can see feedback has been given. So it's incomplete, review and resubmit. It's missing your signature, or it might be that it's missing a section. So address that feedback or that comment and submit another copy so we can make sure it's been checked. We do give you a checklist before you submit. So has it been signed? Has it been dated? For example. Okay, so look at those. The last thing that I want to show you before I finish this short video is sometimes you may have submitted the element as a draft saved. So you have not submitted the item, it's not marked. We can't see this. The course team cannot see that what you've submitted when you submit a draft. So if you see any draft saved in your notes, pop into that, continue the attempt. And what you've probably done is done save and close rather than submit. So just remember to submit that item. That will then change the draft into, I can't remember which element it was, to submitted. Oh, here, case-based discussion summative submitted, case-based discussion formative submitted. So it's absolutely fine to have it in draft if you're not ready for it to be marked, but or content checked, sorry, not marked, then please leave it in draft, but we will not be able to see that. So when you're doing your final submissions, please ensure that you submit it completely. Okay, thank you. Any questions, do add them to the discussion board that the course team will continue to review. Thank you.